Scientists induce lucid dreaming with electrical stimulation. Lucid dreaming means you are aware you're dreaming and that you have some control over the dream. In the 1980s, a test was made with a group of people who claimed to be lucid dreamers. They agreed on a series of eye movements to perform in REM sleep, proving the phenomenon. It has been found that brainwaves produced by people who report experiencing lucid dreams fall somewhere between those of REM sleep and wakefulness. Professor Hobson of Harvard says that understanding lucid dreaming is important for treating mentally ill patients that often hallucinate. However, there are many people that want to be able to dream lucidly whenever they want. Marketers then will work at the idea of sleeping caps that promise the capacity to dream our choice of dreams. Walking doesn't affect thinking and multitasking. Before, we used to think that walking at a slow speed didn't affect mental performance, but this new study made in the University of Michigan is the first to compare the speed of the walking. One of the researchers says that since walking causes many health benefits, we shouldn't be discouraging people from walking and thinking when they want. They measured the ability of young health participants to memorize numbers and their placement on a grid, and then enter those numbers correctly with a keypad while walking different speeds and standing still. This study could help neuroscientists who need to get accurate results when the patients aren't still. Cultural differences suggest that there is no such thing as a universal intelligence test. This research was made in Grenada and involved a group of 54 people, 27 Spanish and 27 Moroccans who lived in Spain. The people were aged 18 to 54, and the objective was to study and explain cultural differences in IQ test performance. The group was selected so they spoke different languages, practiced different religions, had different traditions, and came from different geographical backgrounds, which is all true for Spanish and Moroccans. It was proved that nonverbal tests are not really considered culture-free, since the same test can measure different cognitive functions.
Scientists in Harvard Medical School found genes that are able to unblock the barrier that decides which are the substances that can pass from the blood to the liquid that surrounds the brain. The barrier is super efficient but also strict whenever it comes to let the substance pass, and if unblocked, doctor would be able to create medicines to the brain capable of curing infection, diseases connected to the eyes, kidneys, and intestine, or even tumors. Scientists from the University of Coimbra found that cellular location of the protein that leads to the start of Alzheimer's disease. The protein called APP is found in levels of the cell that are super hard to reach, and it's very important in the production of connection between two neurons and the transmission of information between them. This research may help in the diagnosis of the disease and also to understand questions related to the disease, such as why some areas of the brain are more likely to suffer from it and why some neurons are more affected than others. After performing a study, scientists found that usually men who play football tend to have a smaller hippocampus area in the brain, which is the center of the memory, than men at the same age that don't play football. If players had already suffered a concussion, then the variation in size is even bigger. They also found out that usually men who have played football for many years have a slower rate of time whenever responding to tests.